What's going on, guys? My name is Ryan Snod, it rhymes with odd, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down my entire software stack and client workflow for my production company, Snod Media Group. I'll be breaking down the entire process from when a prospect sees a post on social media to the very end when I ask them to give me a Google review for my business. If you're not using software currently in your business, it's an amazing way to automate some of the redundant admin tasks that you have to do for every one of your clients. And for me personally, I use software so that I have a really consistent experience for all of my clients. They know exactly how the process works, and if and when they decide to repeat purchase from me and work with my company again, they're going to expect that exact same experience. I'll be covering the entire process from when a prospect sees a post of mine on social media, goes through the entire production process, pays their invoice, and I ask for a Google review at the end. I've had a ton of you guys asking me all the different softwares that I use to run my business for hosting videos, sending invoices, collecting payments, scheduling social media posts, and honestly, when I sat down and wrote it all down, it's a lot. So I thought it'd be good to kind of go through an entire in-depth video to break it down for you guys. I'm gonna do a deep dive video today to show you how this whole entire process works, which tools I use, and how I've woven all of these softwares together. But Ryan, why should I care? Let me tell you why. Because the faster and more efficient you can run your business and you understand your workflows, the more money you're going to make, which is kind of important. Using software to build systems in your business makes it easy to train new employees when and if you decide to hire people. It also allows it so that you can actually leave your business at some point and have other people do the tasks for you because everything's been documented on exactly how to give an amazing experience to every one of your clients. This is also an amazing tool so you don't forget to follow up with people that are potentially going to pay you to work for them, which I may or may not have done in the past. Learn from my mistakes. All these manual little tasks that take forever drain your energy, and you should not be doing them manually. So I know this is kind of a dry subject for some of you guys. So to keep you engaged, if you make it to the very end of the video, I'm going to show you a way that you can take my entire business, all of my automations, workflows, email templates, my website design, everything, and copy and paste it into your own business. There's a really cool way that I'll talk about how you can do that at the end, so stick around. Okay, jumping right in here, my entire workflow is based around 4 main stages that a client comes through. The stages are marketing, sales, production, and referrals. Within those frameworks, starting from the very top is marketing. So this includes all inbound and outbound marketing where I'm posting things on social media to try and get attention and drive traffic to my website. The marketing stage concludes when I capture that lead information and they go into my system where I can then begin the sales process. The next step is setting up a discovery call. After that discovery call, then we move into a pitch call where I'm going to actually offer them some kind of solution for their problem. And then we close the deal and we move into production. The production process is pretty familiar to you guys. And then once the client is happy with the final project, we're going to send over all the final files and a final invoice. Most people stop there. The last little piece which I mentioned was referrals. I do 2 steps at the end of every project to try to help market myself and get more business in. The first is I ask every one of my successful projects if they will give me a 5-star review on Google. You would be blown away at how much this helps my entire process to attract more leads to me through Google. And the last step is I share the final project on social media after 30 days of completion. The beauty of all these steps is that at every one of these stages, I'm using software tools to help automate some of this process and make sure that I'm consistently delivering for my clients. So before we get into all the nitty-gritty details of every one of these software automations, I want to speak to the people that are still using Instagram and a generic Gmail account to run their business. This is going to be really overwhelming for someone like you, but I encourage you to take some information from this and start looking at your business bigger picture and try to put some of these systems in place so you're not going to be so illegitimate. And if someone's first impression of you is that you're a very professional, well put together business, they're going to expect to pay more, so you'll make more money. So this is super important to tune into. And the better and more refined your process is, the smoother it is for your clients, and the more they're going to trust you and think that you've done this hundreds, if not thousands of times before. Now let's get nerdy and let's jump into the weeds here. The first stage of my funnel, and of most of ours out there, is going to be content marketing. So this is posting things on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms to attract an audience. And ideally, if you're in video production, you're putting out finished work, behind the scenes pictures, maybe some marketing or tips of that nature. Now, rather than manually posting these, I use a tool called buffer.com where you can schedule out posts on all of your social media platforms to post automatically. It's a super game changer, especially if you are on a schedule where you try to post at least once a day or once a week for your business pages. You can automate all this stuff out and it's really, really helpful. From all that content marketing, it's going to attract people that is going to send them to my website. It's not the most well-coded website, but it gets the job done. And I use a Wix template that is more visually appealing to very visual people with a very visual medium. So it gets the job done. But the one that most people should be doing is a contact form, which is if someone comes to your website and they want to reach out about a project, they would then message you through that. So the contact form that I use is through Studio Ninja, which is a CRM software that I use to manage most of my business. It's similar to Honeybook and some of the other ones out there. So then someone will fill out that lead form and it'll automatically go into my CRM system or my customer relationship manager system. And that's when this entire process kind of starts off here. Studio Ninja is a really good tool that I started implementing a couple years ago. The kind of downside is with it though, it is designed for photographers. So it's really geared towards like wedding photographers, real estate photographers, and not so much video professionals. It does about 90% of what I need it to do, but there are some nuances to that. I made a full video on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out up here, all on Studio Ninja, and a really in-depth look at that tool. So then after that form is collected, we go into the Studio Ninja workflow, and a couple things are going to start automating. The first is that it sends me an email letting me know, hey, someone is interested that has reached out on your site. 2, I set up a workflow that is going to send them a questionnaire, which is kind of that lead qualification step that I talked about in the beginning. I have so many dud leads reach out on a weekly basis where they're just price shopping or they're not really interested in what I offer. So to avoid getting on a ton of phone calls with those people and wasting my time, I send them this automated questionnaire. And on the questionnaire, I basically just ask them questions about their business, how big their team is, what their problem is, and the problem and solution that we're trying to solve with video. If they don't reply to the questionnaire, they are probably not a qualified candidate in the first place. So once they fill out that questionnaire and they send it back to me, there's another automation that goes out that says, hey, thanks for filling this out. Let's set up a discovery call to chat more. And then in that automated email, I also have a link to my Calendly, which looks at my Google Calendar and it looks for available times that they can book. If you're trying to manually do that of like, hey, what time are you available? Let's jump on here. Let's look at this calendar. It eliminates all that crap so you can just go on, look at my calendar, look at my available times, and book a time. I can't believe I did this manually before. It was so stupid. Okay, so then we move into the discovery call, which I administer over Google Meet. So what I do in the discovery meeting is I listen to all the problems that the person is presenting. I ask a lot of questions and try and get a feel for what type of video would solve their problem. In this, I also take notes in Studio Ninja under the Notes tab. So then after this discovery call is done, I'm going to go in and build out a quote and a scope of work. I do a lot of this between Studio Ninja and a custom spreadsheet that I built with some day rates, some different editing rates, and some other things that I like to add in to make sure that my numbers are numbering the proper way. Then once I have that scope built out, I'll either send it over to them directly if it's kind of a quick turn type of project, or if not, I'll send them an automated email that will book a pitch call. On the pitch call, we're going to do the same thing we did in the discovery call with the same tools. The only thing about this one is that I'm going to present my solution to their problem, and I'm going to be doing a lot of the talking in the second meeting. Still taking notes if I need it in Studio Ninja, and I'm recording this stuff for my own benefit later on too. After that pitch call, I set an automation for 7 days after that pitch happened to send a follow-up email. After further automated emails, let's assume they say, yes, let's do it. It'll stop all those follow-up emails and it'll put them into production. So then when someone agrees to the project, they sign the contract and they pay the first half deposit. That is all done through Studio Ninja, as well as Stripe to accept the payment. I used to manually accept checks for all of my projects. It would just slow everything down. So having this all automated is well worth the 3% you have to pay in the processing surcharge. Then we'll move into pre-production, the production where we're going to go out and shoot the project, which we'll kind of skim over. Then we kind of come into the edit process. Now, in terms of software for editing, I use the Adobe Creative Cloud, so Adobe Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop, Lightroom, all those types of products. So then when a project is getting the first round done and I'm ready to send it to the client, I use a tool called Whipster.io, which is a review tool similar to Frame.io if you're familiar with that one, where it just sends the video over to the client where they can review it. They can mark the video up, they can decline it, or they can approve it, and that helps me know that they are ready for the final invoice and that they're ready to get all their final deliverables. So then I'll send all the final deliverables over via Google Drive. They can download those or save those where they want, and then I'll send that final invoice over via Studio Ninja. The good thing is that Studio Ninja ties to my QuickBooks, which is my accounting software, which integrates directly with Studio Ninja. So when I'm sending the quote over, it mirrors in my QuickBooks account for my CPA to use for taxes. Again, after this is done and you get your final payment, this is where most people stop. I tend to do a couple extra steps at the end to try to get more referral business. So then I'll wait 2 days and I'll send an automated email out that says, hey, it was great working with you. I would love if you could spend 20 seconds and write me a Google review for my business. And I'll send an automated link to my Google My Business page and they can leave a review. The final step is I'll go into buffer.com and I will schedule out that finished work to be posted in 30 days. Typically, I let my clients post their stuff first and I'll let them know, hey, I'm going to post this in 30 days. So make sure if you're going to share it on social media that you do that before 30 days so then my post doesn't go out before yours. In addition to the social media posts, I will also schedule them out on Vimeo and YouTube, which Vimeo is my official video hosting page that I'll use for all my final portfolio work. And now, there you have it. That's the entire workflow in a nutshell with the software side of my business. Now, as you can tell, this is a complete hodgepodge stitched together with glue and duct tape to try and get people from the beginning to the end with just a bunch of different softwares in there. Here's a quick overview of all the tools that I use in my process.
Buffer.com, which is social media post scheduling, Google Meet for video conferencing, Wix for video website hosting, Studio Ninja for the CRM or the customer relationship manager, Calendly for the calendar scheduling for my meetings, Whipster for video reviews in post, QuickBooks for accounting, Stripe for payment processing,
and Vimeo for video hosting. So rather than do what I've done the last 4 years of kind of like tethering all these softwares together and making more work for myself, I wouldn't actually encourage you to go do this after watching this video. I would encourage you to use one software that can do all of it. This software is called VidLead Studio. It was created by Parker Wallbeck and his team at Full-Time Filmmaker. I'm sure you've seen some of his videos on YouTube or his online course. But it was set out to take all of this crap that goes on with all the software and put it into one tool that's really streamlined, and it's made for video professionals just like us. Do email automations, text messages, Facebook and Instagram chat automations, can host your videos, automate social media posts, accept payments, send contracts. Literally everything that we talked about in this workflow is in this one software. Just like a lot of other people, I was using tools like Studio Ninja that are made for photographers and trying to retrofit it for my own business and try to make it work. And it's just like putting a square peg in a round hole. It just doesn't quite fit. So I went out to Utah last summer to visit some friends out there, but also to see Land and By the Way space and studio, and I got connected with Carter at VidLead Studio. So he offered to take my entire workflow, all my email templates, website design, everything, and rebuild it inside of their software. Which again, I was kind of like, do I want to do that? But I'm really happy that I did because I've seen it built inside of the software and it's amazing, guys. You can literally copy and paste my entire business and use it for yourself. This would have taken you days to try to watch this video and piece together and start accounts for all these different softwares. Now you can literally do it in a plug and play system. This is honestly, if I could go back and do it today, this is what I would do, and I'm actually in the process of doing, which is to get on with the VidLead Studio and rebuild your entire funnel and do everything that you possibly need to do in your business in one place. For this entire software, currently it's only $99 a month, and that saves me hundreds and hundreds of dollars throughout the year. Probably thousands, I would say, if I started to add up all the money that I spend on all of my different softwares to run my business. So yes, it does cost money, but it's actually going to save you more money than if you were to go out and try to piecemeal all this crap together and pay all the different subscription fees for all the different platforms. The other really cool thing is in talking to Carter at VidLead Studio, he offered me a 30-day free trial that you guys can use, poke around the software, see my funnel in action, and at least take notes or literally copy and paste it and do it on your own if you want to. Just a really great way to get into the tool, see how it works, and see my entire funnel in one place all at once. So if you want to check out VidLead Studio, I'll make sure to put a link in the description box below with that 30-day free trial that you can check out. Honestly, guys, if I had this tool 8 years ago, I would have immediately used it. I'm actually in the process now of taking all the stuff that I just talked about and converting it into VidLead Studio. The beauty of it is that all my stuff is actually already built word for word in the software, so I just have to tweak a couple things to make sure everything's working the way that I want it to. So hopefully this video helps guys to kind of get a better understanding about my entire workflow, all the different software stacks that I use, and how you can implement something similar in your business. Even if you don't want to use VidLead Studio, that's perfectly fine. Take the tips from this video and try to implement something into your workflow. Again, having a better workflow, a better process makes everything more easy for you as you continue to grow your business, hire people and bring on more clients, so you can manage 25, 50, 100 different clients all at the same time and understand exactly where they are in the process and how you can best serve them. Now, I'm sure you probably have a couple extra questions after watching this video, so if you do, make sure to leave them in the comment section below and I'll get back to those as quickly as I can. That about does it for me, guys. My name is Ryan Snod. It rhymes with odd, and I'm out. Peace.